Hey, thanks for joining us for KARE 11 News at noon. The big story today after Christmas is the travel outlook.
Yes.
People are starting to head home, and we're checking at MSP and on the road to see if you'll run into any slowdowns. But first, we got to talk about the weather because it's so nice out there.
It is. I mean, the warmth brings the fog.
It does, yeah.
But it's good roads. They can fly in it. And you can drive in it. But this morning, it's just out there. It's just there. It's been with us for 3 days. It's not super foggy. It's not a concern, at least in Minnesota. But this morning in Wisconsin, they actually had a winter weather advisory down near Madison. That was for some of this freezing fog. This is just going to be here today. It's very patchy. Again, low clouds, very gloomy. But this is what you get for temperatures in middle 30s. So melting continues, but rather slow today. 34 degrees out there right now. Pretty high moisture content. That's going to help with the rain, plain old rain coming in tomorrow. Actually, later tonight, we could already see some. So temperatures have now broken the 32 mark. So the concern for driving is minimal. Actually going to be pretty good everywhere since we are so mild today. We'll jump into the upper 30s and we'll hover there. And then you can see at midnight, 37, a little rain starts to come in here. Not snow. It's going to start as rain. We could mix in a few wet flakes. We'll be timing it all out for you in your forecast. Cece.
Hey, thanks, John. And like we mentioned a couple of minutes ago, we're now in the post-Christmas travel rush, both at the airport and on the road. At MSP today and tomorrow are the busiest days expected. Audrey Russo gives us a peek at what that looks like.
Traffic here inside Terminal 1, ebbing and flowing here this morning at MSP, but we know that today is expected to be the busiest post-Christmas travel day here at the airport, with 50,000 people expected to make their way through security. So far, from what we can see this morning, a lot of people making their way through security in about 25 minutes or less. We hope that that continues to go smoothly because, of course, things did not go as smoothly before Christmas. You may remember American Airlines had a technical issue that grounded flights on Christmas Eve, plus some weather woes across the country, adding to those travel headaches. But for now, only a handful of canceled flights across the country, fewer than 25 as of 8 o'clock this morning. But if that changes and your flight is canceled, you may be entitled to some financial compensation. And that is thanks to a new regulation this year from the Department of Transportation. Airlines are now required to provide automatic cash refunds within a few days of canceled flights. The same applies if your domestic flight is delayed by 3 hours or your international flight is delayed by 6 hours. Now, this rule also applies to checked bag fees. You are entitled to get those back if your luggage isn't delivered within 12 hours. Now, the goal here is to make it as easy as possible to rebook with another airline quickly. Passengers say that anything that gets them to their family gatherings faster is a positive.
Just a short trip, a week, if we get out of here.
Family are kind of assuming you're going to be there by a certain time, but at the end of the day, there are things kind of out of our control. So I don't necessarily go in assuming everything will always go right, but it definitely sucks when things don't.
And back out here in MSP, you can see that there's less than 15 minutes for a wait through the South Security Checkpoint, less than 25 through the North Security Checkpoint. Still, though, travel experts say it is important to get to the airport early just to make sure that you're avoiding any of those headaches, issues with a passport, with an ID, with some luggage. They say 2 hours for a domestic flight and 3 hours early for an international flight. Back to you.
Thanks to Audrey for that. And if you're hitting the road, gas prices are looking pretty good. Here are today's averages from AAA. $2.85 a gallon in Minnesota. If you have a 16-gallon tank, you'll pay around $45 if you fill up from empty. It's a little bit cheaper in Wisconsin at $2.78 a gallon, but both are beating the national average at $3.04. And if you're heading home or to a holiday destination for a long weekend, AAA says the worst times on the roads will be from now to 5 p.m. The best time was this morning. Tomorrow and Saturday, the busiest times on the roads will be in the afternoon until about 7. Here in the metro, you'll see the most traffic on Sunday around 4:30, especially if you're traveling on 94 from Wisconsin. On other headlines right now, 2 parents are behind bars in St. Paul for the death of their 1.5-year-old on Christmas. St. Paul police say officers found the infant unresponsive yesterday afternoon. The child was taken to the hospital where they were pronounced dead. Police say narcotics may have been involved in the infant's death. Meanwhile, we've learned the longest serving woman in the Minnesota legislature has died. The Speaker of the House, Melissa Hortman, shared on Facebook former state representative Mary Murphy passed away after suffering a stroke last week. The governor posting on X that she was, quote, a true champion for the Northland. Two sad stories there. Well, 2025 is now less than a week away, and as we ring in the new year, new laws are set to take effect, impacting everything from renters' rights to job transparency and a so-called Taylor Swift bill. Raya Katene has more details.
Starting January 1st, if you're a renter in Minnesota, you'll be protected by a new law allowing you to join or form tenant associations to ask for better living conditions. The law prohibits landlords from punishing renters who join an association and report code violations, ask for help, or testify about their rental condition. If you do, landlords cannot raise your rent, change your lease, take legal action, or contact law enforcement about your immigration status. New year, new career. If you're thinking of getting a new job in 2025, you may be happy to hear Minnesota employers will be required to disclose the salary range on all job postings. It applies only to companies that have 30 or more employees. This has been dubbed the Taylor Swift bill, but even if you're not a Swiftie, it will affect you if you like going to concerts or sporting events. The Ticketing Fairness Act requires sellers like Ticketmaster and StubHub to have all-in pricing. That means you know the total price of the ticket, including all fees up front. It also bans sellers from using bots to buy and hoard tickets. The bill was proposed after Taylor Swift's Eras Tour stop in Minneapolis last year, when many people complained they couldn't buy tickets after waiting in the queue for hours. And protections are on the way for kids who appear in social media content that generates money. A new law taking effect next summer is aimed at content creators who make money on posts that involve kids at least 30% of the time within a 30-day period. Money from that content must go into a trust account for the minor, and the account has to be maintained until the child turns 18. The law bans kids under 14 from working in content creation.
Today, we know at least 29 people survived a fiery plane crash in Kazakhstan over Christmas. The plane went down, bursting into flames as it landed, but shortly after, people started to come out of the wreckage. Rescue crews got to work quickly, searching for dozens of people feared dead. 62 passengers and 5 crew members were on that flight. Authorities say at least 38 people were killed, a number that may have been higher if not for the work of the pilot.
But the pilots really fought with this plane for some time, and then did a figure 8 before landing. They did 2 circles and then tried to land. So it appeared that they were trying to gain control of this aircraft and really put quite a fight up.
Wow. A Russian aviation watchdog says preliminary information suggests a bird struck the plane, but officials are still investigating. Back at home, we know you didn't win the lottery for Christmas, but the good news is no one else did either. The Mega Millions jackpot is now up to $1.15 billion. The next drawing is tomorrow night, and if someone wins, that would be the 5th biggest jackpot in the game's history. Wow. And time is running out for a Minnesota millionaire to claim their winnings from this year's New Year's raffle. The Minnesota Lottery's website still listing an unclaimed $1 million prize. The winning ticket was bought at the Coburns in Delano. The winner has to claim it by the end of the year before the money goes back to the state. We don't want that. So please check your raffle ticket number on the Minnesota Lottery's website. Well, a lot of us are still celebrating the holidays, and that can look different for different families. Sammy Selena set out to find some Minnesotans who would invite her in on their traditions. She wanted to pick a random neighborhood, so she put on a blindfold you see here and got a spin landing in Watertown, Minnesota. And she met a pretty cool couple along the way. Take a look.
My name is Sammy. I'm a reporter with KARE 11, and our assignment today is to see if we can do a story on a random family. Yeah, it's a little strange.
We got, understandably, a couple no thanks.
Okay, so keep going, working your way that way?
Keep going that way.
I'd rather. Okay.
Be somebody that has kids.
Okay, sounds good.
Then we got to Deb Stacken's house, who insisted we try to find one of her neighbors with kids. It was just her and her wife.
If they don't, then come back.
They're not here.
We struck out again.
She said, just give me time to dry my hair.
Really?
So she and Maggie Mueller agreed.
We got one. It only took 8 houses.
Yes, this is our stash.
Maggie and Deb are retired teachers, and they get creative with their Christmas cards.
We're reindeer with Santa.
what does it say? No more for him?
Yeah.
Because he's our designated driver. This is 14 years we've done this. Let's do something fun or unexpected. And so every year it's just like, now how do you top that, you know?
Their families look forward to see how they topped the previous year.
Ho, ho, ho. 2020 has to go. Toilet paper and a mask and everything on. And poop shirts.
I'll admit it, the ideas come when we're out having maybe a few cocktails and
They figured, why let the children have all the fun?
not having kids. We always said, you know, our nieces, our nephews, the kids we taught, we have plenty of kids. But it's that joy. It's seeing it through kids' eyes.
So that's why Deb insisted we try to find a family with little ones.
Well, it seems like there's 2 kids sitting in front of me right now.
So from our newsroom, thanks Maggie and Deb
We have Elf on the Shelf, we have Buddy the Elf, we have the Tutus.
for allowing us to spend Christmas with 2 kids at heart. With photojournalist Mitchell Yale, Sammy Solina, KARE 11 News.